Oh, okay. Oops. What am I even doing here? Okay, so 30 seconds couch stretch, right leg. 30-second couch stretch, left leg. 30 seconds of hollow rock. 30 seconds of arch rock. For the couch stretch, again, there's a couple of different schools of thought or approaches for that. If you can test a workout from either side. You can test it from RX and see, what your time is on that workout, and then you can test it very scaled, and then just continue trying to close the gap between the two. That's the best analogy that I have for the couch stretch. You can go into a full lunge and get your knee as close to the wall as you possibly can and see where it is, where the end ranges of the knee closing out the wall is, or you can get the knee flush with the wall and maybe not get yourself quite into a full upright lunge position. Either way, you only want to stretch as far as you can while staying connected. The hollow rocks can be hollow holds. The arch rocks can also be arch holds. There are no mandates as far as those go, but we are looking to get a little bit more dynamic when we do the arch rocks and hollow rocks, rather than just hold a static position. So if we were to think moving between the hollow position and the arch position on a kip, that would be a little bit more dynamic than just simply holding an arch position or a hollow position on the pull-up bar itself. The Metcon for today, not a barbell in sight, so we have 3 rounds for time, 50 wall ball shots, 25 handstand push-ups. Couldn't be simpler. That doesn't mean it's easy. Couldn't be a simpler workout, though. We do have the sneaky Karen, so we have 150 wall ball shots kind of shoehorned in there with 75 handstand push-ups, which has been programmed on CrossFit.com before. 75 handstand push-ups, and then it was like on the minute. I think it was like 25 or 30 double unders or something like that. But anyway, ends up being 75 handstand push-ups. If we were to look at some other benchmarks, however, like Diane, which is 21-15-9 deadlifts and handstand push-ups, we've got 45 handstand push-ups in Diane. So it's 30 more than that. With arguably just as much leg work happening. You've got 45 reps of 225-pound deadlifts or 150 reps of 20 or 14-pound wall ball shots. Just enough taken out of the legs to make the kip just about useless. So when thinking about the handstand push-ups, not that the kip, not that you can't do a kipping handstand push-up if you'd like to, but the idea behind the coupling of anything that involves the legs with something that's going to utilize a kip, whether it's a kipping muscle up or a kipping handstand push-up, is that you're fatiguing the legs and the hips, making them a little less agile, I guess, or coordinated, actually, is. Anyhow, I digress. So we have 50 wall ball shots, 25 handstand push-ups. For B, 50 wall ball shots and 25 band-assisted handstand push-ups. The medicine ball 14 and 10. I've often said to, I've also often been a champion of, if I scale one thing, I should scale both things. It doesn't do me a whole lot of good to take one stimulus from one movement and then kind of change it to a different stimulus for the other. So if I'm going to do a 20-pound med ball, but then I'm going to scale the handstand push-ups, there's a place for that, and that it's okay to do that. It's just that if I'm really aiming to finish this, the best way to look at a workout, in my opinion, is that it's written for the highest level of whichever athlete is going to perform it at the highest level. And then the goal is to see, an entire class or an entire group of athletes be able to pull off performing that workout very comparably to the athlete that's going to do it the way that it's written in its, I guess, RX form. So if we're looking at this, the RX, the C being the 20 and 14 pound ball with 25 handstand push-ups, strict or otherwise, then what I would want to do is to find a way to have my time not be significantly different than their time, unless we're testing. So if we're testing, so that's the difference. So if we're testing something versus your daily workouts should comprise about 90 to 95% of your training, whereas your tests should make up the other 5 to 10%. So for 9 to 9.5 times out of 10, I should approach the workout, okay, can I do 25 times 3, or aka 75 handstand push-ups? If the answer is no, then I don't do the C progression for the wall ball shots either. I can get just as much work done, not taking away from the thing that I already knew that I couldn't do more by doing the 20. So if I do the 20, maybe I don't have a problem doing 50 wall ball shots or 150 wall ball shots at 20 pounds. So maybe that's not an issue. But if I'm already knowing going in that 75 handstand push-ups aren't possible for me, so that's already going to be a struggle, then I'm going to sort of miss the stimulus for the workout by creating even more problems for the handstand push-ups, which are going to be a tricky part for me by taking the opposite approach on the medicine ball. So again, it's not a steadfast rule, it's not a requirement, it's just a take that I think that if 90% of your workouts are training and 1% are like your testing and sort of seeing where you are with your fitness, then maybe 50% of your training could be sort of that approach, like I'm going to blend the workout without making one a little bit more risky than the other, and then 50% you could sort of stretch yourself and find where the end ranges are of a particular movement while accommodating maybe the goat-like movement that's in that workout. So maybe this is one of those. Maybe you are an absolute boss at 20 pound or 14 pound wall ball shots, and then the handstand push-ups would need a little bit more adjustments for it. Okay, that's fine. It's just that when it's all said and done, the more uniform we see the scores. I mean, if you go to the leaderboard on the CrossFit Games, very rarely is there going to be, like, from one workout to the other, to the next, for that matter. Like, if you just look at the first page, it should be a collection of really close kind of scores from the first place to, I don't know what fits on the first page, or at least what you can see on the screen itself without scrolling. So you're probably going to see if the first workout, it says 19 minutes and 48 seconds, the second one should be probably still in the 19s, and then so on and so forth. What we probably wouldn't see it 19 minutes 48 seconds, and then the second place and everything after the second place 45 minutes. So when we see that in a class, then it becomes, okay, why did we see that? Was it testing, or was it just a swing and a miss on modifying the movements? And then we have to consider, like, how often are we testing things? So if you're testing every day, you're just gonna get burnout from that, because there's nothing to look forward to. It's always just grind. And I just sort of feel like when I do that, I just feel like I'm just sort of banging my head against the wall. For the A progression, the less than or equal to, that's always been the general rule for the A progressions, the A weights, the A modifications, the A approach. The less than or equal to also applies to the overall volume of it, the 3 rounds. So you could do the 50 and 25 and do that 2 times, or you could do 3 rounds and do it 25 and 15. The push-ups, anything applies. So 90-degree box handstand push-ups, plank push-ups, or knee push-ups, anything that applies there. But it's less than or equal to those numbers, including the 3 rounds.